The Persian Gulf War started in 1990, and since then, many veterans have gone over to the Middle East and other areas where they've been exposed to a variety of environmental factors. These veterans have then come home and had unexplained illnesses. These illnesses have been difficult to service connect, so the VA created a presumption to help them make it easier. That presumption is called the Persian Gulf Presumption. Welcome to VA Made Easy. I'm VA accredited attorney and U.S. Army combat veteran Ed Farmer. Today we're going to discuss what the Persian Gulf War presumption is and how you qualify for it. If you've been denied your VA claim, visit me at vetlawoffice.com. I not only provide zealous advocacy, I have access to VA medical nexus opinions. I'll prep you before your C&P exam, and we have legal investigators to help you obtain buddy statements. Schedule a free consultation at vetlawoffice.com. But for now, let's get into it. So before we get into the qualifications of the Persian Gulf War presumption, let's explain what a presumption is. A presumption makes it easier for you to get service connected. Specifically with the Gulf War presumption, if you served in the right time at the right place and you have the correct disability or illness, it eliminates the need to provide that medical nexus opinion. So if you have the right service and you have the right disability or illness, the VA will presume that those disabilities or illnesses are related to your time in the Persian Gulf. So let's go over the qualifications. First off, you need the correct service during the correct time. So you had to serve on active duty somewhere in the Southwest Asia Theater of Operations from August 2nd, 1990 up until present day, or when a law is passed ending the Persian Gulf War. The Persian Gulf War has technically been ongoing since August 2nd, 1990. Those areas include Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. The PACT Act added areas such as Afghanistan and Israel. I'll put up a full list of the qualifying areas here on the screen. So if you meet those qualifications, if you serve in the right time in the right place, next you need a qualifying condition. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So there are two main qualifying categories and conditions. The first category is called undiagnosed illnesses. So veterans coming home from the Persian Gulf often reported illnesses that doctors couldn't explain. This was sometimes called the Gulf War illness. So in order to qualify for the presumption, you must have one of these undiagnosed illnesses where the symptoms last for 6 months or more. And these undiagnosed illnesses include unexplained fatigue, unexplained rashes, unexplained muscle or joint pain, dizziness, respiratory issues, headaches, sleep disturbances. So this is not an exhaustive list. The key here and the thing you need to understand is your signs or symptoms cannot be attributed to any known clinical diagnosis. So if the doctor says, well, your fatigue is from your PTSD, or your headaches are from your traumatic brain injury, or your rash is from your exposure to jet fuel, then you would not qualify under this presumption. The doctors have to essentially say, yeah, you have all these weird signs and symptoms and we don't know what's causing it. I mean, this is a little bit different from normal service connection, which requires you to have a medical diagnosis. This is essentially the VA saying, well, you have something, but we don't know what's contributing to it. And that is necessary in order to qualify under this presumption. The second major category of illnesses that qualify under the Persian Gulf presumption are called unexplained chronic multisymptom illnesses, or as the VA calls them, MUCMIs. So these are conditions that do have a clear diagnosis, but no known etiology. So in other words, they have no known medical cause. And there are 3 big MUCMIs that the VA currently recognizes. So 1, chronic fatigue syndrome. Chronic fatigue syndrome is having persistent exhaustion with no known cause. 2, fibromyalgia. This is having widespread pain, stiffness, discomfort in your body with no known cause. And 3, irritable bowel syndrome or IBS, which causes chronic digestive issues such as diarrhea, constipation, and bloating. So if you have one of those 3 MUCMIs, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, or irritable bowel syndrome, you fall under the Persian Gulf presumption. If you have a diagnosis of those, the VA will presume it's related to your time in the Gulf. You may be able to show other conditions qualify as MUCMI, but that may be difficult to do. For now, these are the ones that the VA recognizes. And so how does this presumption work? So if you think you qualify under the presumption, what do? Well, you're going to want to document what your condition is, either have a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, or IBS, or some sort of medical record, or maybe a lay statement describing that you have these other conditions of unknown origin. So, for example, if you have joint pain and nobody could say where it's coming from, try to get a doctor to say, well, we don't know, we can't explain his symptoms. That's a big start. 2, you have to have the correct service, as I explained in the beginning of the video. You apply just as you would any other service-connected condition. I would just put in the form that you're applying for the Persian Gulf presumption. And that does it, guys. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. If you need help with the Persian Gulf War presumption, visit me at vetlawoffice.com. And as always, you have the power to win your VA.